Yeah, I am.
Here I am after so many years, hounded by hatred, trapped by fear. I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll slaughter my own. Help me, I'm a prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah. Black babies in the womb, shackled and bound, chained by the caveman who keeps beauty down, smacked on the ass when they are squalling and wet. And to a spineless man who never forgets, never forgets that he's a prisoner.
Prisoner.
Can't you hear my plea? 'Cause I need somebody, Lord knows, to listen to me. I'm a stranger to my son who wonders why his daddy runs. Yeah. Greetings. Once again, welcome to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition podcast, aka N.E.P.P.C podcast. My name is Frank Brown. I'm with my brother
HAQQ.
Today's episode, we are examining the relationship of America and the political prisoner. My brother HAQQ chose the title. So with that, I'll let him start this episode off.
Peace and love, revolutionary greetings, assalamu alaikum, and black power. Yes, the topic we're talking about today is that the atrocity of stealing the lives from us of our political prisoners is a part of the atrocities committed by racist, white supremacist, capitalist, criminal America. What we've experienced in America is the worst, the most heinous, the most barbaric, the most savage conditions, the most wretched conditions of any people on the face of this earth. The murder, rape, robbery, looting, rampage, you understand, of a very, very violent society, a low-life society, a society of animals, of beasts, you understand, who had a strategy of terror, excuse me, of terrorism, you understand, and with the goal of creating cowards and race traitors and Uncle Toms and behind sniffing dogs. You know, people sniff behind like dogs. You know, that was the goal of this terrorism, you know, to strip us of all our humanity, you know, through thunderstorms or hurricanes of oppression, inhumanity, and violence. This is what we've gone through in America. A centuries-old storm, hurricanes, you understand, of white supremacy and injustice. But in the midst of all of this, we've had those who stood up with full humanity and fought back and won a degree of victories for us. As Brother George Foreman explains in the book, The Making of Black Revolutionaries, that the militants played a very, very fundamental and powerful role in the struggle to get us the degree of successes that we have had. You know, they would rather deal with those who led the civil rights movements than deal with people like Malcolm and the Black Panther Party.
And the Diggers for Defense.
And Diggers for Defense, who backed up the Ku Klux Klan.
Yes.
You understand? Who supplied security for the civil rights struggle. You know, so the militants played a very, very valuable role, you understand, in getting us the degree of gains that we have had in this country. So we must tell the true history. You know, the history of America is written with the ink of blood. And that blood is an uprising in the being of revolutionaries. So we say that more and more of you need to have this uprising in your heart, in your mind, you understand? Do the research, do the study, do the scholarship, you understand? The logic tight argument, you understand? To bring forth the inference that we must struggle, we must fight back, you understand? Right. This is the struggle, and to win the hearts and minds of others. As Comrade George said in his book, Blood in My Eye, you know, regardless of your ideology, you know, if you're not, you know, in our organization or whatnot, where you think that one thing that we all can agree on is that those who stood up against this criminal with love in their hearts, you understand, and fought for us, that they need to be fought for. All of us can agree on that, and through this struggle, we can raise people's consciousness of of that reality, you know, right, and to create a movement to free our political prisoners.
Yes.
Yeah.
You right on point. Always, right on. As always, brother. Because when I think about political prisoners and I think about the gains that we made as people, we have to look at them and the sacrifice they made. I know me personally. I'm very inspired. I have courage because of political prisoners. And I said that, if somebody like that was able to do something for me, what am I willing to do for myself? And that's why it's very important that we don't forget about political prisoners, that we get involved. We write them when it's their birthday. We send them birthday cards. During the holiday time, we send them a card, making sure that they up in spirits. Kwanzaa's coming around.
Yeah.
Make sure that
and create that political atmosphere, that pressure to get them free. Go ahead, brother.
Absolutely, because it's as Sundiata said it. It's not the state that's going to free political prisoners; it's the people.
Right on.
So wherever you're at, make sure that you inform people about political prisoners and the importance to struggle to freedom. If we look at what's been going on recently, Russell Maroon Schultz, he's been given to his family. I mean, he's not free, but he's allowed to have the necessary treatment as he fights for his life.
Because of the pressure from the people.
Exactly.
Right.
We have to keep that pressure up so he can be free completely. Right? And I think about all the gains that we made. So it's possible for them not to die in prison, because that's the line that we have to really focus on. The fact that we can't let political prisoners die in prison. These are heroes. These are freedom fighters. When we look at now what was going on with the corruption, and the misuse of authority by the Governor Cuomo, and people are saying how he was mistreating people rather, and anybody who's associated with him, who has been covering up for him, they're being penalized. So we look at this political exposure. We look at episodes like this that inspires people to take a stand for up against injustice, because historically the United States has been an unjust country, unjust nation, and now we have to ask ourselves, whatever gains or were given to people, not given to people, but were won by people because of their resistance, their persistence to fight. And we know the political prisoner was involved in that, because from the beginning of the inception of this country, you have political prisoners, and today, 2021, you still have political prisoners. So it's that whole history that has to be looked at, examined, and understood, that just as you fight against police brutality, just as you fight to make sure you have adequate food, clothing, shelter, you have to fight for political prisoners and make sure that they don't die in prison. That's why every week we're here talking, and we're making sure that that if you see us anywhere, feel free to talk to us. You'll see us in Bedford, Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. I know this past so-called Thanksgiving, I was in Queensbridge with Transform America, my brother Sugar Ray, and Hollywood, and we was giving out free food. So if you see me out there, you know that I was talking about political prisoners, and I'm always appreciative for any platform where I can talk about political prisoners. Currently, you'll see me in South Jamaica, Queens, and you'll see me, and I always have information about political prisoners. I'm speaking to the people in the community whenever I give it a chance to talk about political prisoners, because I know that everybody can do something, whether they write, sign a petition, or subscribe to a particular platform that's talking about political prisoners, whether it's this podcast or another podcast by another organization that's doing similar work. You can do something. I make sure that when I speak to somebody about faith, I say pray for political prisoners. In addition to that, now I'm asking them, see if I can speak to the people of your congregation for about 3 minutes about political prisoners. So if you know of a church or any place that's dealing with faith, contact me or my brother Abdul HAQQ. You can DM me. Or
any people fighting against evil,
right? Contact us and
fight against
let us speak for about 3 minutes about political prisoners. Right. So I needed to say that. So back to the point that you was making.
Yeah, another point I want to make is that these folks owe us. They stole them from us. It was estimated by Queen Mother Moore that they stole $777 trillion from us, and part of that debt that they owe us is reparations, and reparations has to include the stolen lives, the political prisoners. They want us to be cowardly, like a little punk that bully comes along and smacks him up. You understand? Say pocket check. takes his lunch money every day. No, he ain't gonna do nothing. That's the way that the oppressor wants you to be, brothers and sisters. But no, that's an indignity. We're people of pride. We're people of honor. You understand? So we stand up and we demand justice, what they owe us. So these stolen lives they've taken from us. This has to be a big movement among our people. We got to feel this in our heart. We got to feel the love in our heart for those who stood up against what some people think are insurmountable odds for us. You understand? Only for us. Not for no money, not for no fame, not for no pat on the back or nothing like that. But stood up for us. You understand? We must stand up for them. It's a principled thing to stand up for them. And it's very, very unprincipled to forget our political prisoners and let them rot away and die in jail unforgotten. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to turn that phone off. Yeah. One thing that we do from time to time is that we relate current events to this topic of political prisoners. And I want to relate something that recently happened to show the value of freedom fighters. Recently, a couple of days ago, they kicked the Queen out of Barbados. They said, get out of here. You understand? And they established a republic in Barbados. England was a very, very harsh oppressor, you understand, in Barbados, made much wealth off of sugar plantations, very, very cruel to the people, many, many atrocities, and in Barbados, that set the stage and the organized format of how other people would establish and organize slavery in the Caribbean and throughout the United States. England had set a role model for how that was done, very, very instrumental in the slave system. So because of revolutionaries, you understand, the Queen, they kicked the Queen up out of there, and, this really comes at those who want us to identify, talk about we British or we French or something like that. I had a situation when I was selling oil. I went into a beauty shop selling oil, and some sister sit up there in the chair talking about, I don't buy anything but French perfume. I say, France is the most cruelest, the most animalistic of all the colonizers. I had one dude one time, he got mad because I said something about the Queen of England. I call her a bee or something like that. So he got mad because I said something about the Queen of England. This Negro, he got on a British shirt. I don't know why a Negro won't walk around with a British shirt on or an American flag. But I told that lame, I said, man, let me tell you something. I will perform an autopsy on you as you stand right there, trying to defend England. So they kicked England out of Barbados yesterday. That's a very, very great victory. They honored Rihanna, and that's very, very significant because Rihanna is an icon in the hip hop, in the youth culture, So this is something that the youth can get a reading of, a historical lesson for the youth, and for the people in general of the value and the need for revolutionaries, or freedom fighters, and that's why freedom fighters are. You understand? Right. So this recent thing, the day before yesterday, you understand, they kicked the Queen out of Barbados. You understand? And they got rid of these reactionary Negroes. Right. You understand? Real show enough reactionaries. They got rid of them, and now they have a People's Republic there.
That's beautiful because this is what people have been fighting for so long.
Right.
And now we see that it's possible.
For 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So we know that it's made possible because of people's sacrifices.
Right.
That's why when I wake up every day and I think about what I've gained or what I can possibly gain, I think about political prisoners because I ask myself, where would I be if there wasn't no political prisoners? Life would be extremely harder than what it is now. But political prisoners, they have a clear understanding of what it takes to make change. They have a clear understanding what's at stake in terms of what may happen to them. But they understand that freedom is more precious than life.
That's right.
Right? Freedom is more precious than life. That's how a revolutionary thinks. That's how a political prisoner thinks. And that's why they're in the predicament that they're in. But in order for us to protect the lives and protect the lives of the babies, secure our future, we have to be willing to make sacrifices. We have to be willing to suffer, to endure pain. And political prisoners are the example of that. And that's why I say we can't let them die in prison. We got to put that pressure on. We got to keep participating, because regardless of what, it's on our watch whether they're going to be free or not.
Yeah, and like Brother Frank just said, the valuable lesson for our people is indeed that we can win. One of the chief strategic objectives of the enemy of his oppression is to make him think there's nothing we can do about our situation to win. Sometimes I explain that scientifically by talking about Seligman's dog. Seligman's dog, and I said in the post, Seligman's dog and Pavlov's dog have run a backwards race to the grave. You understand? A backwards Olympics to the grave. Seligman's dog, Martin Seligman, took a dog, and chained him to a radiator and administered very painful electric shocks to the dog. You understand? Right. The dog couldn't get loose. And Seligman did that all the dog's life. And when the dog got grown, Seligman took the chains off, put on the electric shock, and the dog just stood there, you understand, and suffered. He had learned hopelessness and helplessness. And, that became a model for oppressors throughout the years. They went back to this experiment. Yes, that dude named Watson went back to this experiment, and they established that as a model to oppress and to exploit people, to make you feel there's nothing you can do about your situation. You understand? But the success of revolutionaries push the whips that lie all up and down the street, all around the world. It destroys that lie. Atomic bombs that lie. There ain't nothing you can do to change your situation. Like I said, the thing in Barbados 2 days ago, that destroys that lie. The people in Zimbabwe now control all their natural resources. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? Respected all over Africa. They made the investors, the European imperialist investors get 49%. The Zimbabweans get 51%. You understand? They control their diamonds, their gold, and all these things. So these examples, you understand, examples of what freedom fighters can do. Robert Mugabe was a political prisoner, you understand, and he led the revolution to overthrow the British in Zimbabwe. You understand what I'm saying? So these historical lessons, you understand, inspire us. They can change your whole life. If you're laying around, in the dumps all depressed, thinking ain't nothing you can do, you understand, that this man, this oppressor is God. You understand? This comes at that. You understand? It hits that all upside the head. And, revolutionaries, as generals in the movement, you understand, put the heart and the spirit and the confidence in the troops. Black power.
Black power, yes. Everything has been said. I know we don't normally keep our podcast episodes long. We make sure that they're strong. We make sure that a number of points that we had come together to give to the people are done. I think that we covered just about everything.
Just one point.
And I know one question I wanted to raise to you, as well as myself, as well as to everybody else viewing, is imagine being forgotten, right? So a political prisoner is incarcerated. They've been incarcerated for decades. And imagine sitting in this cell being forgotten. What does it do to you psychologically? There's a current issue or serious concern about mental health. Imagine the political prisoners' mental health. That's why it's important that they know that we're fighting for them, that they know we haven't forgotten them, that they know that we want them home with us. Because although we are strong people, we only get stronger by having our political prisoners with us. It's a matter of principle. We don't leave them behind. Just like Harriet didn't leave nobody behind. If you wanted to be free, she was coming for you. So we say that we're the modern day Harriets, and we're the modern day freedom fighters that want everybody to experience freedom, and we want our political prisoners to be free, and we won't stop until they get free. So
yeah. In regards to that question you asked, what the oppressor, one of the oppressors' aim is to destroy our humanity. You understand?
Yes.
An aspect of our humanity is to fight for justice. You understand? To be real men and women. You understand? To stand up for our rights. That's part of our humanity. And it's Fanon explained part of the strategic objective, a main strategic objective of the enemy is to destroy your humanity. But when they were not able to destroy the humanity of our political prisoners, and this humanity is very, very valuable. This is a national treasure of our people, and we must demand, you understand, that it be returned to us, that it be free. You know what I'm saying? So in closing, I just want to remember Brother Matulu, you understand, who along
free them all.
Well, free them all, who along with his stepson Tupac put out the principle in the street, no snitching. You understand? That's one of the enemy's favorite weapons is he snitches. You understand? Kamal Sadiq, he also got down with that. You understand? They offered him a freedom of all charges if he snitched and said, well, Assad Shakur is, you understand? He's a political prisoner. Imam Jamil, who has very much expertise in explaining to our youth and educating our youth on the value of the human being in us, you understand, in a society that is beastly, that is animalistic. Here's a brother who's turned the lives of many, many people around. You understand? Jalil Mukhtar King, a freed political prisoner who is a genius, you understand, an organizer. You understand? This is a brother with the equivalent of many, many PhDs from study, who's free now. This is a brother that we value very, very much. So, Jalil, if you're looking at this podcast, right on, brother. And Sekou Odinga, who lived up to the principle of leave no brother or sister behind. The feds say that this brother freed Assad Shakur, you understand? And brother Sekou is the chairperson of the N.E.P.P.C, the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition. Look up N.E.P.P.C, y'all. Get in touch with us for a full bio of all political prisoners. You can get that by looking up our webcast also. So what's it called? Free them all.
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 Right on.
To give the credit to this idea of Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assad Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after. As a community, if we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur, and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently